Hello everyone, Team World Tech here back at it again with a Fire King Kozmo deck profile. This deck is insane when it goes off, but it's just terrible when it gets Ghost Ogred and Ghost Dashed and cards like that. But overall it's very fun, it's super budget. Like, Fire King Island is like, what, less than $1 online? I've completely forgot the price of it. I'll look it up sometime. Let's get started with the deck. So starting with the deck, Triple Dark Planet. So shocking, right? In Fire King Kozmo, you gotta play 3 Dark Planet. You play less than 3, you need help. Because this card is so abusive in the deck, especially when you're running Triple Alloy. I run 1 Dark Destroyer. As you can see here, I'm not running the Dark Eclipser because I ran him in here and he started bricking for me. Because aside from Dark Planet, the rest of the ships that you're running, you want to be able to special summon with them. Dark Eclipser is much better in the pure version or artifact edition of Kozmo. For the next 2, we're running double Forerunner. Yeah. 2 copies of Forerunner, not 3, because Hour of Darkness is a card in this deck, and you need as many darks as possible. But overall, it's still a really good 2800 beer that can't be targeted by card effects. So, say if you have Dark Destroyer on the field, your opponent doesn't have Diagram, then your opponent's going to have to try to get to the Diagram in order to be able to attack over these guys, because they can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Thus, cards like the True King Trap cards can't hit him. Masterpiece can't hit them. Like, the only way you can hit these guys is if the players taking in like Monarchs or the True Draco players taking in Monarchs Erupt. If they're doing that, then they could try to get over this. But aside from that, yeah. Then we run 2 copies of Landwalker because you're running Hour of Darkness in the deck. And you need as many dark ships as possible. You run 3 copies of Slip Rider. Slip Rider is without a doubt the most broken Kozmo monster that the deck has now. That's consistent anyway. I'm sorry. I lied. The most broken Kozmo monster in the whole deck is Dark Destroyer. Number 2 is Slip Rider. The reason I was saying that is because now Dark Destroyer's at 1, Slip Rider's at 3. Still at 3, anyways. Like, this guy just has so many degenerate combos with him. He's level 5, so you can make Infinity with him. He blows up your spells and traps. I'm going to be posting my combo video later on today. So you guys can stay tuned for that. Then you play 1 Delta Shell. Oh man, this guy is ridiculous. The fact that you can still use this guy when you bring him back with Strawman, even though his effect is negated, is insane. It's just insane, man. It's just wrong what you can do with Delta Shell. And then normally you just run 1 of her, but I run 2 Dark Lady in this version because this deck can shit out 2 Dark Lady easy. Like, almost every opening hand that I've playtested with this deck, I've been able to shit out 2 Dark Lady right away. Like, it's just insane. 1 Wicked Witch and 1 Farm Girl. These cards are like, you don't really see them that often, but you still have to run them anyway. Just because they help with OTKs and certain other things in the deck. And the rest of these guys are 2 ofs. 2 Sword Troopers, 2 Strawman, and double Wind Can. You play the rest of these guys in the 2s to avoid bricking, because if you run too many names, then this deck will be bricky as fuck for you. We have 1 Garunix and 1 Yasha here in the deck. You play 1 of each of these guys to avoid bricking. Because if you draw one of them, you'll still be able to search out the other one. Now, if you see them both in your hand with Island, then you just have flat out have bad luck with the deck. This deck ain't for you. Triple Kozmo Town, double Island, triple Optimus Prime, triple Hour of Darkness, and one E-Tally. E-Tally I'm not going to explain, because E-Tally should be obvious in this deck by now. If you see E-Tally, you're going to be able to extend your board just with that one card alone, since you get to summon Tin Can from the deck. Hour of Darkness is for consistency. Terraforming is to make sure you see one of these field spells. To make sure you get to both of these field spells immediately. You gotta see them both in your opening hand if you want to do a lot of your combos. But things just so happen with the deck. You could run things like Reasoning or Monster Gate in here. I personally don't care for those cards. I run 3 Cold Hard and 1 Oasis of Dragon Souls. Still amazing cards with Constella plays to this day. Ironically, a lot of the combos I produce for this deck, for Kozmo, is for this particular deck. Yeah, it's not even my most favorite one. My most favorite one is Artifact Kozmo. Ironically, yet all the combos I produce is for this version of the deck. So, those are the 40 cards in the main deck. I do not like to surpass 40 cards normally, but in a deck like Artifact Kozmo, you kind of need to, and it still flows very well and consistently, so it works. Now, for the extra deck, have 1 Herald of Pure Light, 1 Sky Cavalry Centura, and 1 each of your abusive rank 3s in the deck. These 3 make up for some of the most degenerate combos that this deck has without links. Like I said before, a little while in the video, I'm going to be doing a combo video later on today. 1 copy of Ardreas, 1 Shark Fortress, 1 Volky, 1 Durandal, 1 Pleiades, and M7. You play M7 because you can stack on Pleiades automatically, and thus allowing you to abuse that 1 extra deck slot. 1 Nova and Infinity, same idea, stacking. 1 Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger because you can stack this guy on any of your rank 5s, or M7 when you finish burning them out. You never stack him on Infinity, of course, because Infinity's just broken by himself. And then we have 2 more cards here. Cyber End Dragon and Beast King Barbroid. And I'm going to be talking about why we run these cards. Cyber Dragon Nova has an effect that when he dies, you get to bring on one of these guys from the extra deck automatically. Now, right now, as long as we're in a Zodiac format, your opponent's going to pop Nova. Because if they let you go into Infinity, it's over for them. Because they are not going to be able to out-resource Infinity once you establish the boards that this type of deck can establish. So if they pop Nova, you could deadly surprise them with one of these guys. And just summon them out. Let me read Barbroid real quick. So yeah, he can attack twice. So against Zoo, he's the better option. But overall, if your opponent has a lot of defensive monsters, you can use Cyber and Dragon in order to pierce your opponent. If they have a defensive monster, you can summon Cyber and Dragon. You can attack with the Cyber and Dragon, and you'll more than not likely be able to do 4,000 points of damage. It's a piercing. It's really clutch, and if you manage to do that, that'll put you so far ahead of the game. On top of your Dark Lady plus Tin Can boards, you'll just be able to out-resource the Zoo player. I rambled enough about that. Let's get on to the side deck now. My most favorite part of deck profiles actually is the side deck, by the way. 1 Raigeki, double Dark Hole, or Dank Hole, if you prefer. Triple Anti-Spell Fragrance. I'm so glad I finally got to pick up this card. Pick up your copies of Anti-Spell right away, because Anti-Spell is broken. Double Artifact Lancia. There are people that don't play these cards. And I see these cards available on Amazon for 75 cents or less. Nobody buys these cards. Nobody buys this. And he's going to be broken against the Trickster deck, the ABC deck, and the Wind Witch Invoke deck, along with True Draco. Though all four of those decks suffer at the hands of Artifact Lancia, and he's a hand trap. So you can use him during either player's turn. It's not like that he's a regular trap card. No, you have to set him down for a turn in order to make use of him. No, he's not. Thus, I don't understand why people aren't using him. Buy out your copies of Artifact Lancia now. Or I'll buy them. 3 Ghost Ogre. This is kind of self-explanatory. I don't main deck hand traps in this version of the deck, per se, because hand traps aren't really necessary to be main decked, in my opinion, right now, for Fire King Kozmo. If it was like Artifact Kozmo, then maybe, depending on the format, you main deck hand traps, but, you know, side deck that one Maxi, because Maxi is, we all know Maxi's going to get hit to 0, and we all know that I'm just going to put in the 3rd Artifact Lancia in order to replace it. I don't even care anymore. And 3 Drone Lockbird, because she's my favorite level 1 spellcaster after Effect Veiler in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, now we're done with that. Give me your initial thoughts on the deck. Tell me what you think I should change. Side deck cards, main decks, extra deck cards. What do you think I should do with the deck? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Don't forget to comment. Team Mortec, signing out.